What drew you to I'm Changing the Narrative?
So when I first was approached with Rachel and her message, it was from our high school football coach. My son is on the team, and this was about a year and a half ago in the middle of the pandemic, and he was doing a lot of personal development and things from home. And Rachel came across his radar in a coach's session one day, and he was really intrigued by it, thankfully. And he reached out to me, just knowing, kids on the team, just kind of my background and school involvement and things. And he's like, hey, how can we make this happen? So our football players could hear her message, because it's really important to kind of learn a little bit about Rachel and what her message was. And when I did, I immediately messaged him back and was like, okay, I'm in, whatever we need to do. I think this is really important.
I think that as parents, we can tell them all of this until we're blue in the face, and they're going to be like, yeah, okay, well, I'm having to listen to my parents about it, sure. But when they're brought in together in a group, all together, they hear the same message and they're all feeling it in their heart. I think it really helps them hear it better. The message is so needed right now because of mental health, because of the violence, the drugs, everything that we have. These kids are facing so much more than we could ever imagine facing when we were that age. And if we can help them just a little bit or a lot with this message, then it's worth it, every penny.
All children they're not going to church. They don't have access to the youth group to talk to other kids. They're talking to their friends at school. Is what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So with Rachel talking to them and sparking these conversations and these ideas in their head and helping them, they can go and talk with their friends and their peers and their teachers. And we can reach these kids in a different way and early, before something terrible happens in our communities.
Once we met Rachel through football, because she was here and she did talk to her football program. So I was in the room when she spoke just to the football team and the coaches. And you take a group of over 100 high school boys, football players, who all have phones and all these devices, and put them in a room. And when she started talking, their eyes were so fixated on her that you couldn't hear a pin drop. And at the end, I went out the back. I was kind of waiting in the lobby. And so the boys had to pass by me to exit. And I was listening to their comments. Heard a young boy say, wow, I didn't expect to go in there and cry today. And it was comments like that just like kind of took me back and thought, wow, I mean, she has made a difference it makes me emotional, think about it, just by hearing their conversations. And just the difference that she made in that, our presentation. Our counselors wrote a grant to bring Rachel back, but to see not just, athletic players, but to see the student body. So junior high, high school. And so that's how we all kind of got involved, because our board reviewed this grant and we had the opportunity to really educate our board members on the importance and kind of what her message is. Most schools don't have that type of foundation board and do grants and things. And even if we didn't, or let's say this didn't meet the criteria or didn't get passed for that board, the passion that this group of, moms, because we heard her speak and saw the impact, but the coaches and the community, I know without a doubt, we could have raised the funds in a different way. And we do a lot of that in the community because, even raising the money for grants, what we do is just call on local businesses and say, hey, this is what we're doing and this is where the money goes. And they just need to hear about it. I mean, honestly, they just need to hear about it and hear the passion that parents would have to bring this.
We don't want something bad to happen. We're trying to get ahead of all that. Suicides are up with, with the pandemic and with everything our children have been going through these last couple of years. We don't want that in our schools, in our community. But then there's the long-term effects of this is the future business owners in our community, workers in our community. It's the future of our community that we are molding at an early age. They may not finish high school. They may not go to college. But more than likely, a huge percentage are going to stay right here in Jonesboro, Arkansas. So it's important now that we mold these little minds so that they become good community citizens so that our little part of the world can thrive.
If you do have a school that wants to be on board and is struggling to figure out how to raise the funds, then to always reach out to, people who have done it. And any one of us would be happy to hop on a call or to share information or fundraising ideas. We've all been involved in a lot of community fundraising for years and have a passion for it. People will get behind a message like this because it can truly change lives. And I love what Erica and Laura said, the future, their future. We want to have strong communities everywhere. And this is where it starts with our kids.